Today's FOMC finally. I don't expect anything different out of this FOMC than we've had in the past. No reason to believe anything different. So get a nice sell-off this morning and stuff with a good long setups at bottom of range on stocks. That's the kind of stuff I'll be looking for. If we could get a little sell-off this morning back into the 4603 again, that put us back down into 4610 area on SPX. I'm really looking at the stocks more from that lens of long setups. I really would like to see, what kind of good long setups do we have here. We got a catalyst at the top of the hour, might do something for us. A little dip here, and I think it's more along the lines of like nothing exciting is going to happen until the FOMC. The goal here for me is I just want to get in with decent size that I'm comfortable with and have my stop, where I got some room for this to work. That's really what I'm looking for. So give everything a few minutes. I'm with you. I like this SPX down here. Well, if we get down there, the reversal setups there, risk reward is so great there. And then if the FOMC actually gives us a good bounce, shit, you have a hell of a trade on. And I'm watching this NVIDIA here. I just kind of got an eye on it as there's a possibility of another trade off this 262. I'll go ahead and get the NVIDIA. I want to get some NVIDIA on here, I think, for that.
The FOMC, yeah.
I like this. Well, I like this setup here. It's a little bit early. It's not reversal time of day. It could just dump, but I can get a nice tight stop. So I got full size with a nice tight stop. And then why NVIDIA in the first place? Well, the other part is because I love this slope. I love the way this thing's trading. Of course, the consolidation day doesn't surprise me at all. So if I catch the low end of this consolidation, and then it should be a nice trade back up into 265. And then, of course, like the FOMC meeting, if that all works out well, we could be at 275 today or, tomorrow. So I really want to get a good trade on here with a swing is, because I'm looking at next week's expiration on these things. I'm adding back every single contract that I sell. I want full size on this thing all the way up as far as it can. I've been adding on every dip, and I'm adding every sell. Gorgeous, man. Expiration day. We're sitting right here on the SPX, going into the FOMC. We didn't quite get the dip that I was looking for to put some on yet. So I don't have any SPX options on or anything yet, but it's not over yet. We're coming on the top of the hour. We did have we did get a good level set up here. I want to take what I'm shooting for here is take a little profits into this area like you talked about, and then I want to hold the rest. I want full size going into the FOMC meeting, but I want it paid for, right? So you have a potential for this kind of move. I like to work a core. That's another thing too. It's for everybody to keep in mind. You got to think about this. If you want something going into the FOMC, it needs to be paid for. I guarantee you, man, make no mistake. You might get lucky and you don't get a big wick and get stopped out. You might get lucky, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to do a stop run. They're going to take you out, and then you're going to get stopped out, lose money, and be right. So, I don't take anything that's not RTZ. Everything that I have on going to this FOMC meeting is without a stop. So if I can't pay for something and I'm not comfortable with the risk, I just take it off, take the loss, take the win, even if it's whatever it is. If it's not paid for, I wouldn't take it in the FOMC. Just a heads up, boy, because it'll go just like on any catalyst on SPX, man. They will bottom tick you. You'll lose 4 times what you expected because it's a catalyst, and then it'll rip faces off, and you would have been right. And they're going to take 4 times the money than you expected, and then they're, that's just how it works. I wouldn't be just a reminder. If you can't pay, if it's not paid for, can't do it without a stop. I wouldn't touch it at all. On the top of the hour, might see a nice explosive move back into 265. It could take some profits and hold the rest going into the FOMC. That's all right. So I took some profits there on NVIDIA. It wasn't quite as much as I would like to, but this trade is still almost paid for. Not quite paid for, but close enough. I'm going to call it good. I'm all right with that. The size I got left here is RTZ. I want to carry everything I got into the Fed. I really try hard to differentiate just another trade from, from just another trade from a really good catalyst-driven trade. So like for me, for instance, today, I think, you just want to get some green on there. I totally understand it. Absolutely. And I would be like that 9 out of 10 days, but just a quick reminder about what this is. This isn't just another trade. Not only does it have legs today, but it can have legs for the next 2 or 3, 4 days, right? And
here's a chance to not just make your money back, but here's a chance to like really put yourself up on a good trade, and being able to recognize these days that can really pay you. And, you know, regardless of what you're feeling, you know, being able to capitalize on those days can be huge, you know, and it takes a lot of time. No matter what you're feeling, no matter what's going on, you know, you got to take that trade with that, through that, look at it through that lens, you know what I mean? This has the potential to be a home run. You know, am I going to leave it on the table because I just want my money back, or am I going to trade it like it is the trade that it is? It has the potential to be a home run. Just market it in on the 40s, and then the 30s. I had a limit sitting out here, but I got in early, man. I was in before the hour. Well, on these catalysts, I'm always trying to get in a little bit early. You know, as long as we're close enough to my, as long as we're in the trigger range, you know, I'm trying to get in early. And this thing pulled back enough right here, and I've got 2 left. I want to cash settle on those. I got all out the 40s. I'm done with 40s. Yeah, nice freaking move on those things. So I just sold all of them. But I've got 2 of these 30s left that I was wanting to get. When it comes to a catalyst, once the catalyst hits, it's generally too late. You never know what kind of legs these types of trades can have, right? I mean, look at the last Fed talk there when we were at that dip, right? And we got a 300-point bounce off of it. I mean, it just ripped for 2 or 3 days straight. And I'm not saying that's going to happen here. I'm just saying you never know, right? You just never know how sometimes these catalysts can have 2 or 3 days worth of legs in them. If you want to trade the catalyst, you can't let the catalyst come out and then trade it. It's just like earnings. I mean, you got to be in the earnings early, and you got to have your plan, and you got to trade it. You got to be in it early, right? You don't wait for the earnings to come out and then try to get long, right? If you're going, you don't wait till the earning report comes out and then chase it on the way up or chase it on the way down, right? You've got to be in early. So that's one of the big ones here. Remember that with a catalyst. I mean, I'm looking for setups where I can manage my risk as best as possible. To me, the best place was 46.20. That is the best risk place all day. It's been sitting against it yesterday. Freaking clue which way the direction of the market's going to go. Okay, I'm putting on risk based on what I think has the highest potential to happen, and it either happens or it doesn't. Like, well, I have these little, you know, comments like, do you want to be right or do you want to get paid? You know, and I think that's very fitting right here. When you're right on an earnings play, you can get a 500, 600, 1,000% move. I've got 7,000% return on options before on an earnings play. Okay, when you're right directionally, the risk reward is so fucking huge that I don't care. I don't need to see if I'm right. I don't need to see it break out. I'm putting on the risk before, because the risk reward is so great. I'm going to risk 2R, and if I'm right, I'm going to get paid very, very well.